Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. How are we all doing? Can we have an AV check to get us going here? Sorry, I'm a little bit late starting. I was trying to figure something out. I'm just looking at the planes. AV's good. Right. I fixed my overhead camera. It was a bit wonky. I don't know if you noticed. Somebody pointed it out that it was a bit wonky, so now it's not. It was like it was turned. The problem is like I knock it sometimes and it kind of just moves it a little bit. How am I? I'm okay actually. How are you guys? Just wondering what we're going to fly. The caravans are airborne, so I'm just going to look around and see if I can find one of the Cessnas that we can fly instead. The 172s. I'll fly a Skyhawk for a bit. That's all fine. It's got a 91L.
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
Have you seen the cargo? One hiker, one policeman, one gay woman, and a biker. A biker, a hiker, a policeman, and a gay woman. I can't fit all four in the plane, though. Who do we take? The biker and the hiker? I don't know. PJ, thank you for 32 months, sir. Firefighter, thank you for 68. Mr. Tessel, thank you for 2 years. Tallulah, welcome back. Virtual Aviator Guy, thanks for 2 months. Good afternoon from the flight deck. Good afternoon. Be careful of that biker. I'd be careful of the hiker, to be honest. Actually, they're not flying to the same place either. Actually, where is this thing? 91L. In which direction is Kaysan, I wonder?
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
Please do a tutorial on getting started. Oh man, I can't remember how to start FS Economy. KJB, thank you for half a year. Commander Orana, thank you for 66. Hope the family are well. Has the storm arrived in the UK? No, not at the moment. Don't think so. How does FSE work? Basically, you take jobs and then you fly them in the sim. That's basically it. There's an airport, on a website called AirNav. You can look up any Navaid airports in the US. To do what, sorry? What are we trying to do? Airport ID 91L. What's this going to do for us? Which direction is Kaysan from here, I wonder? Well, the hiker might be going further. Hang on. 91L. Kaysan. Okay. Well, that tells us where... So its home base is towards the west, basically. That's fine. At least we know that. So ideally, we want to take jobs going west. Are you going to go to Peterborough? Nope. Yeah, the hiker wants to go 274 nautical miles, so that could be why he's paying more money. He wants to go further.
Welcome back, Nutter.
Useful if you want to look up airport info. Gotcha. So the hiker's the ideal one. I guess. 274 is, I mean, that's 1,200 away. This plane is a long way from home, blimey. Oh, I think I remember this. I think this plane, I was flying across from, I think I bought it somewhere like Florida, and I've been flying it westerly ever since. I think that's why it's so far away from home. Can you sell? Now, I think these are created by people. They create cargo. I'm not really sure how it works, but somehow I think you can create cargo in the game and have it moved around for money, I think. But I really don't know. I've never tried to do it. But you could probably create some very interesting cargo. Yeah, I'm not going to go to Peterborough with Corona as it is. It's not worth it. It's going to be a complete non-event. Like, if you go to Truckfest, they're going to be like all the marketplaces, they're not going to be there. Or if they are, they're going to be like massively spaced out. Half the truckers probably won't go. Half the stuff won't be on. It's just, yeah. If you want to go in and use a toilet or the restaurant, it's going to be an absolute mess. I can't be bothered with it. I'll just wait till next year. Mr. Zouavri, whatever your name is, 29 months, thank you. Are you going to go to Truckfest? I'm not. So how do we, I was reading something in here about how to make money, right? So this is the manual. And it says in here, finding assignments is easy. You can search for assignments at your favorite airfield by searching in the airport section of the main menu, which is a bit of a lie because the airport section of the main menu just does that. And then it says, this will also list other local airfields which may have assignments available. You can use the assignment to from feature on the airport page. Okay, to from feature. Does it mean this? To from airport, this area, passengers at least. So how do we do this? So like, let's say like, I don't know, 2 passengers at least from airport, go. So that's telling us there's an assignment from 91L to 5S6. Will I be doing shared cockpits multiplayer? There is no shared cockpit currently. It says by selecting the airport you want to land at and then selecting assignments from, you will get a list of assignments destined for that airport. Okay, that kind of blows my mind a second. By selecting the airport you want to land at and then selecting the assignments from, you'll get a list of assignments destined for the airport. Come again? At the top, there's what? There's a go to. Go to. Right. There's no room for the FBO constrictions. No MP today. We're going to do the MP at 5 p.m. I said this yesterday. This afternoon, we're doing FS Economy. At 5 o'clock, we're going to have an open multiplayer. I've got a route planned. So put the airport you want to go to. I don't know where I want to go to. I'm in 91L, and I want to take some stuff because what it says is you can then pick up those assignments that are along the bearing from your starting point. So this is what I'm interested in. It's like if I see a job that goes west 100 miles, how can I work out where there's something on the way that I can also pick up? It's saying where you're flying from will have jobs when you choose to land. Right. So if I've got 91, okay, right, let's try this through. Let's say I want to take the let's take the hiker, right? Let's take the hiker. He wants to go to 38CA, 274 miles. You have to put that airport in and do if you choose a job, then go to that airport. So how do I find out what's en route to 38CA from here? That's what I want to do. A gay woman, I don't know. People. It specifies that because a player has created that cargo. And click show assignments. What? Hang on. Go to that airport, right? So we go there. So we go to 38CA. And then we've got some assignments here. Okay, so what's this showing me then? Assignments from Cashin. I'm confused by this job. I'm glad it's not just me. Now set it to show jobs to the airport. Right, okay. So show assignments to the airport. Okay. So now we see the hiker. And the hiker's on 274 miles away. So does that mean... Does that mean I could potentially pick up this guy en route? Because he's kind of in the right direction, but not really. The ones around it should be en route. Well, given the bearing of that, that's kind of saying that the hikers wants to go from 91L and fly on a bearing of 289. So, like that one there is completely wrong direction, right? Because that's coming from the southwest. Now you're at the airport, input from your departure airport. What? The L94 27L KPTV. So that one is, I mean, the amount of money this is paying is ridiculous. It's not even worth landing and taking off for that. Can you make IRL money? No, no, no. This is just like currency in the game. Looks like one of your planes is flying from KCHA to KCDN. Has assignments to different airports. Which one? One of these? I'm not sure what you're telling me, Alex. I don't see the plane flying from KCHA to KCDN. I don't know what you're trying to tell me. If you go to groups assignments, Squirrel. Groups assignments, Squirrel. This lot. Oh, I see. It kind of shows where they're going here. Gotcha. I think. Is there no mouse yoke in Flight Sim? I don't know, actually. I don't think there is, actually. 274 miles, paying 900. It's a long way, though, for a 172. Show assignments from your departure airport. That's what we were doing, isn't it? When was it? When was it? 91? Show assignments from airport. But what we did was we went to this other place. 5 passengers. When it says corporate jet hire, what exactly does that mean? Can you buy planes from this currency? In the sim, yeah, in FS Economy you can buy planes, yeah. Are we going to be doing a group VFR flight anytime soon? 5 p.m. 5 p.m. is what we're doing. Let's try another one. Let's try this one. One money launderer, one barkeeper, and one mountaineer. I could take this. We could take those three. All three of them are going to the same place. Let me rent Sierra Quebec. I'm gonna take these three. I love this. We're gonna go 80 miles to KTVL. Add them to my flight. Oh, that's genius. Okay, we've got that rented. Does this thing need fueling, I wonder? 38%. Yeah, I better refuel it. I mean, it's only 80 nautical, isn't it? Choose provider. Haven't really got much choice here. Fill to, I don't know, let's go 30 gallons. Should be plenty. Your 2.8 KCRO is available. Nice. All right. I'm locked into this now. Thank you. I'll go to that one. Is that Sierra Quebec or the other one? Right, let's set this up. So we want the 172. Do you want the G1000 version or not? Yeah, let's go with that one. Don't need to worry about anything else. It'll set all that. Flight conditions, we can't really go live time. We can go live weather, hopefully. I don't know what the weather's there right now, but we'll just make it morning. Let's get the route punched in. Do you have to go through customs? No. I wonder what MPG is. You don't measure planes in miles per gallon. You measure it in fuel burn. Like gallons per hour, basically. Is FS Economy Mod? It's a website where you can install... Actually, I need to start the client. One sec. You sign up for an account, and then you basically have this this thing here. This client that tracks your... Because if you say, I'm going to fly this virtual plane from here to here with these passengers, with this much fuel, it needs to talk to the sim to set that up and then make sure that you do that. The UI is amazing, dude. The UI is in need of a massive overhaul. Right, what am I doing? We're flying from this random airfield, which it seems to, hang on, C006. Is that correct? No, I don't think that's correct. Lake Orville. I'm not sure that it's got the right field, to be honest. Let's get KTVL and see what distance it thinks it is. Yeah, that's not the right place. I think that's an O. That's 006. But the problem is, maybe it needs a K in front of it. I don't know. That's not the right place. How do we find this airfield then? It's like randomly small airfield called 006. It probably has a different name in the sim. Lake Orville landing area, it says. Oh dear. Mrs. Squirrel's nicking my wife food as usual. You've drunk half of it? You've literally drunk half of it? Unbelievable. Mrs. Squirrel tax. That's what it is. Use the coordinates. We could try that. I was only do it from here.
Welcome to the Nut House.
I mean, you know, I don't know if that's going to be in the right place. It doesn't seem to think there's much here. Koru Gaming, thank you for subbing, Wog. It's a seaplane landing area. It says surface water. Okay, so how the heck is a Cessna 172 located in a water landing area on FS Economy? How does that actually work? Like, how is that even possible? Literally, somebody's landed the plane in a water landing area. That doesn't make any sense. And even more importantly is how do we get out of that situation? Explain 172 as floats. So they've flown it in a 172 that has floats on it. How do you find the liquid food? Do you mean, do I like it? Yes, I do. Very much. So the only way to get out of this is either to get somebody to fly it out of there with a floated 172 and X-plane, or just ship the plane. Because I can't actually move that plane now, so I'm going to have to cancel that assignment. All right, let's select all. Cancel selected assignments because I can't do the job. And that plane, Sierra, Quebec. We're just going to have to relocate it. At least you can fly the 208. How do I unrent that aircraft? Release. Cancel. There we go. I think that's released it. So this plane here, if we try and ship it, the aircraft will be packed into a crate. It will weigh 748 kilos. Require the aircraft moving it to have the minimum amount of space. And like this doesn't make any sense. Like this plane is like literally stuck here. It costs $5,500 to pack it, and then somebody else has to move it. This is dumb. If somebody has X-plane with a floated 172, can you please move that? Can you please move the plane from 006? Because it's like completely locked there now. Oh, man. Anyway, I think this one's available. You can get BP. Let's have a look at some jobs for this caravan. Or maybe not, because it says it's locked. Why is it locked? Rent. Aircraft is already locked. Alex? Which FSE game client did you download? The SimConnect one. Couldn't you slew it out to land? Not in the game world. Like, you can do it in the sim, but you can't really do it in... I don't know, Alex. I don't know how it works. You can slew the plane in the sim, but the problem is, how do you move the plane in FS Economy? That's the issue. You think you just rented that plane? Nice. FSE one are like, no, you can't just slew it around. It won't be happy with that. But equally, The plane's completely stuck. Do you remember when you were on multiplayer Bushfly and tried to find it for days? Do you mean the one up at Hope in Canada? What are we even doing? Well, we're trying to find a plane to fly, but that one's unflyable. This one's been locked out. Let's try, what's that one? KSNA. Search magnifier. Yeah, it needs disabling, doesn't it? Right, let's try KSNA. Let's see. Blimey, look at the planes. There's so many. Holy smoke. There it is. November 119 Sierra, Quebec. How do you join the FSC group? Yeah, you just have to apply to it, basically. And then we have to accept it. Right, let's rent this. Let's earn some money. Let's see. We can take like 3 people, someone nice. Any idea when it'll come to Xbox? Don't know at the moment. Do not know. Centurion 172. We've got 3 people we can take.
Aye, 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 aye.
Blue forever, Paul. What do you need to both a yoke and a stick? Do you need both a yoke and a stick? No. No. You just would do one or the other. Is it purely different types of aircraft? You can use either. It's more a personal preference thing. Like, it depends what you fly. Depends whether you like having some buttons here. There really isn't a right answer to that one. Rudder pedals. Personally, I use MFG Crosswinds. Next week, I'm going to try the Thrustmaster TPRs. I'll let you know what I think of either of them. I know they're both good, but they're both expensive. Yeah, the rumor is going to release the game for the Xbox when it's released. Yeah, I mean, some people think that maybe when the new Xbox is announced, maybe they'll put Microsoft Flight Sim on it as a launch title. None of this is confirmed. It's just rumors. $375 nautical mile for $795. What you mean these? Bearing of 058. We could take them. I don't know where this random airfield is. The trouble is, when you get there, you kind of need to have a job that can earn money. Oh, well, there you go. You can fly back again. You could just bounce there and back and earn money. Should we take those 3? Hopefully 6CA5 is actually in the sim. Add to my flight. There we go. So now if we go to my flights and we go here, we go, let's see. We know that KSNA is going to be in here. 6CA5 is in here as well. Looking good. You've locked BPT, the blank thing does nothing. I don't understand. Does anybody know, like, if you own a plane in FS economy and you don't want other people to rent it out, how do you actually lock it so it can't be rented? How do you do that? Because I thought you were supposed to basically just set the rental price to 0 or something, and that would do it. GA parking medium. All right, we've done the flight conditions. We've done the flight itself. We're going to go to the Vista Valley. We'll click on fly. Okay, stuff appears to be working again. All she saw was Opera crash message, yeah. And everything just went full rip. I think Opera probably crashed because something to do with DirectX, etc. And that crashed OBS and Flight Sim, I think. I am guessing. Right, let me just quickly get my stuff back. Going well today, huh? Maybe I should just go back to bed. Close that over there. I just need to put some more windows back where I have them now. Right, that one, and that one. Okay. Right, we're back in business. So where am I going? KSNA to 6CA5. Do you like my stream? It's a professional stream. KSNA, John Wayne, 6CA5. Starts off on the ramp. Flight conditions are going to be live weather. Maybe like early morning. Make sure I've got the right 172. And try again. I'll take this now, Sammy, for now, mate. I'll take this. So basically what we're saying, I think, Sammy, is you can't lock a plane down. I think that's what we're saying here. Which is a bit odd. Although the zero price thing, maybe that does actually stop people outside the group from renting it. Maybe that's the idea. Maybe it's KSNA that crashed the sim. Maybe that's what happened. Can use FSUI PC to connect. I wouldn't recommend FSUI PC at the moment until they fix Sim Connect, which may come in the rumored 27th of August patch. Hello. That's better. Okay. We are in the sim. FS Economy uses Sim Connect, but because it only polls it very slowly, you don't see the problem that Sim Connect has. Whereas FSUI PC will be polling it a lot more regularly. Let's have a quick look around. Because I'm not actually spawned in KSNA in Microsoft Flight Sim. Alrighty then. Is KSNA the one where Harrison Ford landed on the taxiway? Or was that a different one? I can't remember. It's a Sim CPU heavy. Oh, that was John Wayne. I'm guessing, looking at this this runway here, I'm guessing we're meant to take off out of this one. Looks like more of a GA kind of thing. He landed on a golf course. No, he landed on the taxiway. There was like a runway, and he came in on, I think, on a left base, and there was something like an Airbus or a 737 that was waiting for him to land, and he basically flew over the top of it, like 80 feet above the tail fin, and landed on the taxiway. It was unbelievable. The Dommy, thank you for subbing. And then I think the ATC like controller said to him calmly something like, "Okay, we're going to have to report the pilot deviation." That's what they called it, a pilot deviation. And the guy in the airliner was really like, that dude just went right over the top of my plane. Like, he was pretty close to the tail fin. Space Train, thank you for 21. I reckon we can take off out of here, can't we? We'll take off out of 02 right. Head northeast. Seems good to me. Taxi all the way along here, I guess. It was his second or third incident. Oh my god. Has he still got his license, or have they actually taken it away? Does it have multiplayer group missions? I don't think so. Yeah, it's John Wayne Airport. Okay, right, let's get back in. Do we need a pushback? No, we'll just turn around. We'll ignore the pushback guy. So we'll start up FS Economy and get it logged in.
Welcome to the Nut House.
Now, I thought I had FS Economy running. It would appear that FS Economy gave up as well. Looks like everything crashed. Nick's Infernal, thank you for subbing. Welcome. Flight. There we go. Start flight. So, 3 people going to 6CA5. Whoa, the rental cost is updated now. Dude, this is like being in the sat in the back of a taxi. Look at this. It really is. Let's go battery master. Quick, the meter's running. All right, let's get the old beacon light on. Let's just double check the... Right, so that's on the mixture lever, that's fine. This one's fuel injected, isn't it? Is there a fuel pump on this? Wait. Shut off valve. There we go. Whoa, why is the parking brake not on? Alright, let's get the avionics on. All I know in the Harrison 4 case is the FAA investigated the case. Yeah, they were like, it's fine, Harrison, don't worry about it. You know, we'll just write it up. Anybody else would have been dragged over the coals. I know, right, Sammy? That's pretty scary, right? Okay, so let's see. Altitude-wise... we actually got a camera view. Let's put on this. $195 on the DI. Local pressure set. Let's get some panel lighting. Okay. Looks like it does actually have transponder to on 1200. It does actually have a basic AP system on this one. So you could actually use it. If you wanted to. Opera's a strange choice. Why? I used to use Chrome. I like Opera. It's a lot less heavy than... Chrome was getting pretty heavy on resources. Is there an... has this thing got an outside air temperature anymore? Does it say what temperature is? Temperature, oil, vacuum. Normally they have an OAT up here somewhere. Oh, I can't see one. Oh, it's on the clock. (73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. Okay. That's fine. Cool. Harvester, thank you for 9 months. You remember Netscape? Netscape dominated the world once. Nav, GPS. Okay, let's go. Taxi lights on. Market brake is off. Mind your head. Whoa! That dude's brave.
Welcome to the Nut House.
Where's... Hang on a minute. Where's the actual taxiway here? Oh, I see how this works. So this is all like a... This is all a movement area over here, I think. Yeah, I think this is all part of the ramp over here. I should have just turned left rather than right. That's fine. What plane? Cessna 172 Skyhawk this time. You're curious? I'm using the Stream Deck to try to set up some custom keybinds. Seem buggy at the moment. I've not experienced any bugs. What kind of bugs are you talking about? Oh, there's a caravan. Do you think they'll add multiplayer co-piloting? If they don't, somebody else will. Somebody needs to move some lights. I don't know, Neo, because we're in the 172 now, so it won't do what it did in the caravan quite so much. We should have a lot better experience, I think. Do the gauges from Logitech work on this yet? I think they'll work when you get Sim Connect update next week. Seems like modifiers, control shift alt sometimes work and sometimes don't. Never had that. All the keys that I press on here map okay. The only thing I have seen is every now and again a fall foul of the... Like if you're... Like I've got heading adjustments on my Stream Deck. Every now and again you get that bug where the heading bug will just do that and just constantly spin. And I don't know what causes that, but it's something to do with going by the Stream Deck. Game crashes so often when you replug the controller. I think they're aware of that one. And that is an annoying bug. Okay, right. Just trying to work out where the entryway was. This is not G1000. So there's two versions of the Skyhawk. What the heck? Why do I feel like I'm on some kind of weird external camera right now? Um, why have all my gauges just disappeared? That looks like an external view. Like if I was to look from the outside... I've seen this before with the cameras, they sometimes get confused. That's external. I'll tell you how you fix it. I'll tell you how you fix this weird one. You go up to here, and you choose camera, and then cockpit. And that usually sorts it out. But it seems like it's got a bit confused. All the gauges have gone full rip. I think that's like the view that you get when you're in the drone mode. Reset. Like if you was in drone mode looking inside. Like that's the kind of abbreviated view that you get. And I've not got the proper view now. How am I supposed to fly the plane? How am I supposed to fly the plane? I have literally never seen this bug before. That's going to make it very, very interesting. Use outside view gauges. That's going to be tricky trying to track where we are. Toggle your avionics. This isn't an avionics problem. This is like the entire... all the dials are like in outside view mode. It fixes itself in a bit. You reckon? We shall see. Well, I kind of tried the reset camera option. Reset position. I don't know. We'll probably have to use VFR map. Use the VFR map and the external camera. Just to get there. That is well broken. I can't even reset my position internally anymore. Look. I can reset that, I can reset that, but when I do that and reset, it's not doing it. Try changing a graphics setting. I don't think that's going to work. What about cockpit? Object level of detail, let's do that one. As if by magic. As if by magic. We got something back here. It's not perfect. I still can't reset the camera position, but it's better than nothing. Oh, God. Like, it's still in a really odd position. Can we still do instrument views? Like, this camera... I don't know. We'll go for it. It's in a weird default camera position now. Camera type, fixed look. Yeah, that default camera's too zoomed in. You have problems with this, the VFR map always seems to be the source of your issues. Interesting. Never had this one before. Okay, strobes coming on, landing lights on. Everything else is set up, apart from the camera feels awkward. Yeah, the meter's running. We need to take off. Right, climbing turn to the right slightly. What track our profile? I have my own flying profile. And we're up. And turn track eye off for a second. I've never had a code for track eye on. No, they never gave me one. They said to me some years ago, they said, oh, the margins are so small, we don't do codes. I was like, okay. Feels very slow. I suppose we got quite a weight on board. Temp fix, look up and reset track eye, should lift up your head. It's a bit more to it than that. There you go, it's just snapped into some view. It's like my default view is just bizarre right now. If you open ATC menu and wiggle its sizing, it closes and fixes it. Is it to do with these windows then? Is that what it is? Is it this stuff? Go into the cockpit camera menu and click on pilot, not close. This one. Okay. I think it's a little better. Thank you. Quite nice round here, actually. Closest one you get with control 1. I thought that control space would always reset back to normal pilot view though, which is what it wasn't doing. It's close as in not far away. Yes. Yes, it is. It means close as in get closer to the instruments. That's what it means. See if we can get a bit of AP going here. Play it in nav mode. I got my super squawk altitude. In op. Okay. Altitude. Nav mode. 4,000 feet. What's it doing? Does the AP actually work on this thing? Gauge autopilot. Immediately came out of roll mode. It's such a pretty game when it works. ARM nav mode, AP, immediately rolled out. I wonder, I'm wondering if the plane I'm flying doesn't have AP. That's what I'm thinking. And therefore when I try and use it, it immediately disables it. Because normally you can arm that stuff when it's not actually working, so I need to check this plane to see what I thought it did, but which plane are we in? you go. It has VFR, IFR, autopilot, and GPS, so it should, in theory, it should all work. Strange that it doesn't then. You think it's a bug if you had bugs on autopilot turns off immediately? Use the keyboard hotkey. Well, let's try pressing AP here. Oh, there you go. AP and then nav. And then we're going to B-speed mode. See if it locks onto nav. Looks like it's locking onto the nav. I know I'm trying to climb, dude. That is not the best down nav in the world, but it's getting there slowly. Look at that. It's like trying to find the magenta line. Mr. Mike, thank you 42. Lentil Stew, thank you 38. Mr. PSB, thank you for 84. It's a long time. Finally a title that makes me feel motivated to get back into flight sim. Oh yeah. Let's go to 5. You got issue with the live weather? Yeah, so from what I understand, the bug with the live weather, the first flight that you take, the live weather works. However, I'm on the first flight right now. I'm on live weather, but I don't have live weather. However, I'm not on live time either. So I'm wondering if that's got something to do with it. MK Dons, thank you 46. Why is that alt meter crooked? Sorry, what? Don't know what you mean. Where are we going from and to? We are basically going to 6CA5. We're taking these, a tourist, another tourist, and just a chartered passenger. As Sobo acknowledged the huge amount of bug stability problems, I don't know. I've not really been on the forums. Are you choosing some of the weather preset and switching back to live? That's never worked for me. That's never worked for me. We can try it. Like we can go like few clouds and then go back to live. So I don't know. I can see some like mist down here, so maybe they've got clear skies right now. I don't know. How do you use the mixture lever? Well, this thing. So basically, the higher you go, you hear the engine. The higher you go, you have to change the mixture of fuel to air, basically, to maximize your EGT temperature. That's what you're supposed to do. Like this plane has an EGT on it. So what you're supposed to do is lean this out until that gets to maximal, and then hold it there. So if I pull it back out, what I'm doing is I'm burning less fuel. Well, I'll get to a point where it'll start to drop off, is what's going to happen. It's what should happen. That seems wrong to me. There's no way that should be running on 36%. EGT is your like exhaust gas temperature. So what you're trying to do, so it's gone quite high now. When you're at higher altitude, the air is thinner, so you don't need as much fuel to burn with the air mixture. basically. So you lean that out at higher altitudes, you burn less fuel, and the engine runs better. But you can see that EGT is climbing like crazy. Well, at least I'll burn a lot less fuel doing this, but the AGT is going through the roof right now. Put some more fuel back in, should bring it down. How does the trim wheel work mechanically? I remember you saying it's fairly complex. Not that it's complex, it's just that it's different on different planes. On this plane, I've got an external camera. On this plane, it's actually that tab there. Can you see it? Can we go on? On this plane, like, that whole thing is the elevator, and this is the trim. That one there, it's like a separate thing. If I adjust the trim, just that will move up and down and give you like small amounts of elevator trim. But on other planes, it works differently. There's a few like solutions for it, if you like. It looks like I have got live weather because I've not got a clear sky. Like I've got all this down here, you know. Kind of looks like we have got live. Is that AP going to level out? I don't think it is. Nope. Okay. Well, at least an L hold, I think. Now we're climbing again. This AP seems a bit weird. I think it's holding now. It should be. Oh, nice view. Is the elevator there for lift? Yes. It's there for pitch, specifically. Not for lift. The wings are for lift. The elevator's for pitch. K-Star, I've moved the time forward. I didn't go for live time. I moved the time slightly forward to give us early morning. This is not their local time. It's still dark over there. I've been trying to download for 13 hours. You're best off killing it and starting again. And sometimes it hangs. There's a Microsoft forum post somewhere about hung installs. Matty-san, thank you for subbing, welcome. Can confirm, still dark over here. Dude, go back to bed. Why does your A320neo keep enabling auto throttle by itself? Wow, look at the detail. That's crazy. See, like, stadiums down here. That's just nuts. Planning on going back to bed until you saw us streaming. Just going to bring the engine RPMs back a little bit. There we go. if you look at the task manager for my PC, it's kind of hard to see what it's doing really, because the GPU is not pegged. And the CPU, none of the cores are pegged apart from that one. And that one's running pretty high. So my guess at the moment is whatever this thread is doing here, that's the limiting factor on my frame rate. Like, it's not my GPU right now, it's that thread there. And that one there. And what they need to do, they need to basically start spreading the workload over all of these cores, because it's not using my CPU properly. It's flatlining one, almost flatlining another, and everything else. You know. Having said that, you can dial up your settings and max out your GPU, so it's not like it's not a simple problem, this. And DX12 will not fix it. Even when all this is done, I could still crank up my graphics settings and bring that higher. It's all, at the end of the day, it will always be throttled on something, right? Always. But right now I feel like there's more to be had, especially out of my CPU. The X11 can only use 4 cores. Is that true? That seems like a weird limitation to me. Why would DirectX limit the number of CPU cores you can use? They're not really going to port it to DX12 anytime soon, because if they do, it'll make it a Windows 10 only title. Like, if all those people on Windows 7 and 8 won't be able to play. No, I'm not. It doesn't use much CPU power when it's streaming. It's using the GPU. Windows 10's already a requirement. If Windows 10's already a requirement, then why do they not use DX12 already? That's really weird. Unless they decided that, I don't know, but they might have decided that they'll get the game released and then they'll start porting it to DX12. Like, if they was trying to port it to DX12, and that would push the project back by, I don't know, 6 months, maybe they made a decision not to do it that way. Because they wanted to get it out for the new console or something. The button to pause in flight, the live pause is your pause break key, which is next to your scroll lock key usually. Yeah, I'd like to think they'll do a proper DX12 port. I mean, if they go to DX12, does that mean they can use more threads as well? I hope so. Wait, are we going to have to go over this thing? Because if we are, I'm going to have to climb, aren't I? I think we better get a climb going. $8,000. Wait, what? What's wrong with this tooltip? Decrease altitude hold reference. Decrease altitude hold reference. So what? Oh, why's my V-speed not working? 1 second. Something weird going on with that. It means it's all downhill from here. Well, it's been a great day so far, so that makes sense. Let's try and speed up. Lucky I've got the Stream Deck buttons mapped. You're as high as you'll go. No, I'm not. No way. About a 12,000 foot ceiling on this. Well, DSG, Microsoft Flight Sim has not been patched since release, so there's no reason why it's more unstable today. Having said that, I'm sure I saw a tweet from Microsoft that said there was a Windows patch for something that fixed a problem in the game. So I think I read it late last night. And I thought to myself, blimey, Windows patches that are fixing Microsoft Flight Sim. Do you have to use the VS autopilot option when climbing? No, not usually. Although in that AP, you probably have to use V-speed all the time. How much VRAM is being used? I don't know if it showed that. Dedicated GPU memory. It's about half at the moment. So what's that, about 6 gig-ish? 5 gig, 6 gig? I don't get why it just doesn't use all of it. Yeah, I'm bringing the climb rate down because we're doing that weird thing that happened in the caravan. Where it would just suddenly lose speed. Mr. Gastus, thank you for 52 months. What do you use the reverse thruster in a jetliner? On the Warthog, do you use the forward detent? On the Warthog, you know, on your throttle quadrant, on the bit where you grab to push the throttle, where you put your left thumb, there's a red China hat switch. The one up from that is the boat switch. The one up from that is the one I use for reverse thrust. And it has two ways of working. You can either, like, you pull it and hold it and it'll spring back afterwards, or you push it and it'll lock it. So I use the pull for hold reverse thrust and the push for toggle. Do you know why the Premium Deluxe is cheaper than the Premium version? You mean the Deluxe version? No, it's supposed to be $60, $90, $120. Is there a HPA setting for altimeters? Dude. It depends which plane you're in. Like, this particular plane has both. It has inches of mercury over here, and it has hectopascals over here. Other planes, it doesn't seem to let you do it yet. It's a bit weird. I think I'm going to try and just level out at 7,000. How high is this hill? This is struggling. Let's bring the B speed down a little bit. Tutorials on the Garmins. Yeah, I guess. What are those inches pascals for? What, these? This is like your pressure settings. See, I don't want to be complicated about this. In order for this altimeter to give you a correct reading, you have to give it the local pressure. Otherwise, it will read the wrong value. M. Brooks, thank you for 20 months. You're welcome. I'm thinking we're not going to make this hill. The game's worth getting just to press all the buttons. Well, a lot of them are in-op. How high is this thing? I don't think we're going to make it, guys. 7,000 feet, and I think we're going to fly right into it. We really need to go to 8, but I don't think this plane's going to get 8. We'll try. We'll try. Go around the right side, we may have to. Let's see, it's still climbing at VY at the moment, so I think it's got more juice left. It's just not doing it very quickly. That scenery is just superb. You know, I look down on this and I think to myself, all those people who say, hey, wouldn't it be great if you could drive a Euro truck on a 1-to-1 scale? And I look at this and I think, do you realize what you're asking for? Like, flying on a 1-to-1 scale takes long enough. Trucking, oh my god. Maybe someday. Oh yeah, I'm sure one day you'll be able to drive around a very accurate representation of this world. PS4 Gamer, thank you very much for the support. Thank you. 2,000 bits. Might as well drive a real truck. Exactly. You might as well get a real truck and earn some money. 32 nautical. Now on the return journey, I don't know if we're going to fly over that hill again. That's going to be a heck of a climb, and that's assuming we make it on the way there. Try the valley in the middle. We may have to. I am curious if we can actually climb over this thing. I mean, we're still doing a reasonable airspeed at the moment. Like, we're doing 107 knot ground speed right now. I'm not really complaining. I'm just wondering if we'll actually make it. Are you going to get the Honeycomb Bravo? I'd like to. I think they come out in September, don't they? I'd like to try it. As an aero pilot, you would really try and climb over it. You would. But definitely looks a bit high. I'm guessing we'll probably just go around that valley bit. Let's see if this will go into heading mode. Let's try that. Oh yeah, the mixture's lean. Although the EGT's come down again. I don't feel like this mixture feels right to me. We'll see. What did anyone make a fussy about yoke? When I spoke to the guy who founded Honeycomb 18 months ago, he said basically that was his goal, was to make a force feedback version of this one day. So here's hoping. Brew crew brew. Just flew over my former employer and roof appeared to be caved in. All of the buildings rendered correctly. I'm sure you never flew into it, right? I think we'll try and just level off here. There we go. I think. It's supposed to be flying level, but it's not. There we go. It takes a long time for the AP to settle in. And we're getting chucked around. It's not really about flying level, it's about this particular AP. Do you know what? I'm looking through that. And even this doesn't look like we're gonna get over here. Even the back of that lump there. Well, maybe through that bit. How long till you get accepted for FSE? I think FSE's had a lot of problems the last 24 hours. I heard that they've been inundated by people reactivating their accounts, and all of them have had to reset their password, so they've had to email people, and they've gone over like 57,000 password reset requests, and I think whoever their email provider is has hit some kind of limit. So they can't send emails out because they've hit the limit. And that's what's basically happened. Mains 72, take 28 months. Guys, I don't think we're going to make this. I think we have to climb again. This is pretty crazy hill. I need to remap that button. Speed. Let's try 200. Look at it. What's the max altitude? About 12,000-ish. But it's struggling because we've got 4 people on board. You signed up last night, didn't get your email 2 hours ago. I tried logging in and got the verification email immediately. Oh, they must have fixed it then. That's cool. See, I think we're almost level with this. Well, we need about 9,000 to get over here, I think. Sounds like one of the... Yeah, if we push one of the passengers out, we'll be able to get over the hill and still get paid. Not today, O2. Thank you for subbing. Keep climbing. that water on the map. I can see the water there. This ridge is getting higher though. Yeah, it's struggling now. I think we're getting hit by a headwind or something. It's like pitching the nose up. Speed is dropping and so's UGT, I know, right? I can't really lean it out anymore, though. It's crazy. What? Somebody went to 67,000 feet in a piston? That seems wrong. That hill's getting closer. They might have to just, like, turn around and fly over that there, maybe. Go left side of this thing. Don't think we're going to get through here. We're in California. Right, I reckon if we get over this ridge, we can go around it. Charge them extra for sightseeing. Well, at least we've reduced the fuel burn, so we're not burning crazy fuel. Have you flown over your own house? Everybody's flown over their own house, surely. It's like one of the first things you do. It's a Stream Deck button box. Yeah, we get over this ridge and it'll be a bit of an easier ride, I think. You landed on your house. Get one of the bush planes and land in your garden. How long left in this flight? I wish I knew. I'm kind of thinking we can go along here and then round that way to the airfield. Are we air trucking? Tonight we're doing a multiplayer thing. I've got a route mapped out for us. And I've never flown there, so I don't know what it's like, but it should be kind of fun. You have a link for the Game World thing. The mods have got it from yesterday, I think. Anybody can join the MP. Anybody. It's an open session. It's just a massive fly along, basically. Welcome, Carla. Come on, this nav AP is just nuts. Actual airfield's over here somewhere. SK Jeanberg, thank you for 74 months. You're flying a caravan, nice. This nav should turn left any second. There it goes. How many players can you have in multiplayer? There's no limit. The amount that you see, Microsoft Flight Sim seems to limit it to about 20 planes that you see. But when we looked on the kind of, you know, the start screen, it shows live traffic on it. When we looked on that, it just had an insane amount of planes on it, but you don't see them all. Intox, welcome back. I wonder what the field elevation is for this thing. No way is it 50. CA5. 3,300 feet, thank you. We have to descend, aren't we?